Are independent women breaking free from marriage expectations? It sure and certainly seems so. I did a video. What is it? 10 do's and don'ts every man must know before dating in 2025. And I used 2 points of references. From women, actual women. That gave me some knowledge. One of them told me about give a woman attention. You know what I mean? And you give enough attention. You know what I mean? You can have her basically. And then the second is a dear friend of mine. Okay, now the first one who told me about the attention, she's a single mom, never been married. Now, I have a dear friend, my other dear friend, she's married. And, she gave me this advice, long time ago before she got married. You know what I mean? And her advice is like, her advice was like, when you're dealing with a girl, like she always listening. So give her the vision. She was like, you know what I mean? Instead of saying, I want you to cook and clean, you know what I mean? Don't waste your time on that. Say something like, yeah, what I'm looking for in a wife is someone who cooks, cleans, rubs my back. That's who I'm gonna do everything for. You know what I mean? So I hope that's clear. She's married now. Alright? So, in her response to my video, 10 do's and don'ts every man must know before dating in 2025, the married woman told me, after I sent her a link of that video to check out, being that she had gave me some advice, I sent her a link. Like I thought of you when I was writing this episode, and you told me about women, and so I included a link so she could click to see the video. Her response, she sent me a text. Good video, I enjoy it. Yo, you really hate the bipolar X. Laugh out loud. So I cracked up, sent her the laughing emojis, because the story is in that video about my ex. But she knows about my ex because I've talked to her about my ex. So I was cracking up because I was like, damn, I almost like talk about her a lot, but and it's not in a good way. You know what I mean? Like I said, that was the one that cheated on me. That was the only girl that ever cheated on me. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's the only girl that can't call me. Like any girl from my past, I'll do anything for, blah, 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 at any time, if I can. But her, she can't even call me, you know what I mean? And, but I talk about that in that video. 10 do's and don'ts every man must know before dating in 2025. Now, my homegirl who said, said about attention, you give a girl attention, enough attention, you know what I mean? You can have her in time, basically, right? So I sent her the link, and I said, you know what I'm saying? What's up? I ain't gonna use a name, you know what I mean? I'm just gonna say, friend. So what's up, friend? I thought of you when I was writing this episode, and what you told me about attention. So I'm gonna call her attention. So, and I sent that with a link. So then she sent me, like I sent that at like 9:35. You don't say it, but she responded at like 9:35. She watched the, she put loved and then the link. Then she's put in response to the video, because I said the worse you treat women, the better they act. That's just the naked truth. And I said that in the video. Check it out for clarification. We can talk about it in the comments. But anyway, she said, treat a girl bad and she treats you better. And then she got an X on it, like wrong answer. And she put, treat a woman good and she will treat you better. And then she puts the check mark. So then she adds on, the man should like the woman more. We are the prey. The chase is what gets us. If you chase the man, what's left for him to do? So she left that. She left that at like 3 o'clock. What was it? She left that at 10. She left that at like 10:19. So I was asleep, so I ain't even responding because I go to bed early so I can get up early. So I got up at 3 o'clock. So by 3 o'clock, I'm up checking my messages, getting ready for the day. It was 3:08, and I respond to it. I said that a man should never chase a woman. There are too many women. Men that are focused on being successful will always attract a good woman. Why would the sun need to chase the earth? That's backwards. Because in the 5% Nation of Islam, the black man is symbolic to the sun. The sun is the center of the universe. Right? And the woman is considered the earth. That's why it's there's the nation of gods and earths. The gods, symbolic to the sun, and the earth. The earth is number 2. The sun is number 1. Earth is number 2. The black man is number 1. The black woman is number 2. And it's in order of creation. Allah was created first, and then he created the one. And Adam. Right? So what happens is that the earth is tiny and power and revolves around the sun. Right? The sun is in the center of the universe. Right? So our whole system revolves around the sun. So that's the divine order of a household. The man has to be the center of that home. And without him, S-U-N, you have no sun. You don't have no sun, no light. So he knows what happens when there's no sunlight. The earth will perish like that. So the power of the sun is what keeps everything in order. Without the sun, there's no order. There's chaos. And that's why a lot of our kids are having, without the father in home, are struggling. So that's why I said, why would the sun need to chase the earth? Why would a man need to chase a woman? Why would a one need to chase a two? That's backwards. Then I said the earth follows the sun. I see where you're coming from, though. Women today think like that. Men who chase women like the chase. And once he gets her, he's on to the next chase. I call them pussy chasers. And that's a fact. I call them pussy chasers. Niggas that chase pussy. You know what I mean? They interest, like, you know what I mean? Like, they dress and, do everything to, like, flirt with a chick, talking to every chick that come by. Hey, some of them respond, some of them don't. But they want to talk to at least 10 chicks, get phone numbers and all of that. You know what I mean? I call them pussy chasers. Those are the ones that chase women. You know what I mean? And, if I was to, tell my daughter, don't get a woman that I'm a man that chases pussy. And then I said, my pop never chased my moms. He let her know what's up, and when she was ready, she got down with his program. And that's a fact. Mother and father, I come from a 2-parent home. You know what I'm saying? So, I've seen what a successful relationship is. My father was not a pussy chaser. You know what I mean? He was a provider. He was a son. He was the center of our relationship. He was an S-U-N, the center of our home. It revolved around him. My mother utmost respect for my pops. You know, and he had the utmost respect, you know, for her. You know, she didn't try to, you know, be the head of the house. You know, it didn't get done unless my father said, you know, okay. You know what I'm saying? If you say nah, you know, then it's nah. You know what I'm saying? So I told her my pop never chased my mom. He let her know what's up, and when she was ready, she got down with his program. I said, you were right though. I text attention. I said, yo, you right though. You know what I'm saying? I try to find a common ground to agree upon. You know. Then I added on, this keeps women with pussy chasers. Busy men don't have time for this. The man should like the woman more. Okay, this is what I said. This keeps women with pussy chasers. Busy men don't have time for this. Then I put quote from her, from what she said. The man should like the woman more. We are the prey. The chase is what gets us. If you chase the man, what's left for him to do? Okay. And then I added my 2 cents. What's left for him to do is build a successful way of life. Also, a woman should never chase a man either. When people play games like that, one person wins and the other loses. Women are receivers and men are givers. A woman receives the light from the sun he gives. As long as she is willing to receive and the man is willing to give, that's a positive start. And if they are both willing to build on a friendship, they will be eternally linked. Then she responded, 7 o'clock in the morning, because I ended, my last test was 3:40. She responded 7:30 in the morning, when she first got up probably. Chase is a strong word. The word I really meant is pursue. The men that want you to chase are feminine or don't have much to offer. When a man has his mind and spirit together, pursuing a wise woman is easy because they both know what's up.
Someone please explain to me why this generation of men wants to be chased by women. I went to a group dinner this weekend and one of the guys at that dinner expressed interest in me. The entire night he was complimenting me. Oh my gosh, you're so well spoken. You're so beautiful. How do you not have a boyfriend? Making some very, very big claims like, I want to take you on vacation. Let's go out of the country. I want to take you on dates. You know, basically just telling me everything I want to hear, which is, that's fine, okay, to an extent. You know, the night continued to go well. Dinner was finished. We all went out after. It was a lot of fun. And then I went home and he followed up the next day with a text. Texted him back. After that, he didn't answer. But he continued to follow me on Instagram and started liking and commenting on some of my pictures. Like, do you really think I'm gonna fall for that? Like, you just telling me everything I wanna hear and I'm gonna believe you at like face value? If you're gonna make those really big claims of you wanna take me here, you wanna take me there, you better book the dates and you better book the tickets. This is my point. Men are supposed to court women. That means if you're interested in a woman, you make the plans for the date, make the reservations, buy the tickets, confirm with the girl. That's your role as a man. If you think that you're gonna like dangle the carrot in my face and then pull it away and expect me to like chase behind you, that's not happening. So ladies, I would love to hear your experiences of when men thought you were gonna chase them. Because the truth of the matter is, if it's not that one, it's just someone else.
You ladies gotta realize the game has changed considerably. You cannot expect men to act traditional, but you want to be modern. Women have changed the game. Those days where men chased after women, those are finished. Stop putting these videos out there going, if you think I'm gonna chase a man, yeah, you have to. Because if you wait another 3, 4, 5 years, right? You're old. You're out of the game. Because those men that you want are going to be looking for women 3, 4, 5 years younger than you. You ladies got to get your shit together.
And she went on to say, When dealing with a man that respects himself, that respect comes easy for a woman. So let me just break this down. So that saying is like, the argument of a lot of single women is that I'll submit to a certain man. Right? When dealing with a man that respects himself, that respect comes easy. So, in the opposite, it comes hard if he doesn't respect himself. So why would you be with somebody that doesn't respect himself? So you should only deal with men that you respect. But, I could tell by this time she kind of feeling emotional, defensive, backed in the corner. You know what I mean? So I said, that's where we differ. A man attracts. The earth is attracted to the magnetic pull of the sun. So I said, a woman revolves around him and comes into his world, which is true. We have to bring her into our world. We can't move into her world. So I say, never, go to a woman's yard. Bring it to your yard. So, and she says, she hot now. She said, the men you are speaking of are far and few. Most of the males attract brokenness and poverty. And they have way too much estrogen to even having a woman. It's not the age. A lot of successful brothers have money, but have not done the healing. Today's sisters are the highest educated and are becoming the higher earners. Wow. Sissy Diddy, Miss Sister Diddy, she told me, black women, you know what I mean? Highest educated and becoming the higher earners. And she right. And that's proving my point. You know what I mean? Before, the video. Like all of that higher education, all of that is her problem. You know what I'm saying? Because she wasn't educated in how to run a household. She thinks her value is outside of the house. But for a man, a woman's value is in the kitchen, in the home, in the bedroom, in the living room, with the children, downstairs, upstairs. And when the man come home, Daddy, I need something from the attic. All right, baby, I got you. So that's how it was with my mother and father. She called my father Daddy. You know what I'm saying? So, she right. You know what I mean? That's why you single right now. You know what I mean? And my homegirl who's married, she don't have no kids. She got master's degrees. You know what I mean? All of that. Very high, she does social work. But she listens to men. That's why we could talk like, man, that girl could talk for 24 hours straight. Go to sleep and then get up and talk again. Because our conversation is like, she listens. I listen to her, she listens to me. But, you see that here, this woman here, the single mother, she trying to tell me about what, what I should be telling, men. You know what I mean? It's hard to listen to a man that can't listen to himself. This is her. It's hard to listen to a man that can't listen to himself. She complaining. Today's sisters are the highest educated and are becoming the higher earners. Yeah, that's why y'all can't settle for a bus driver. You know what I mean? An airplane employee. You need to work for the TSA. Because you get so educated. You need, you know what I mean? You got to, you deserve to be driving a Mercedes Benz with orange seats. Come on, get out of here with that, yo. Our community, the black community in America, is the worst that it has ever been. It's worse than 10 years ago. It's worse than 20 years ago. It's worse than 30 years ago. It's worse than 40 years ago. It's worse than 50 years ago. 60 years ago, worse than 70 years ago. Since the 50s, it's been downhill. Because we were the most married. Like most but I'll deal with that in the next episode that's coming out tomorrow.
It's come to the point where being single is just a lot safer than dating, getting into a relationship, being in a situationship, or anything with anybody, because the way that these men are set up nowadays, the way that these men move about, the way that these men lie, cheat, finesse, use, abuse, mistreat, all of that, the way that they do that so openly and also without any remorse, without any care. Like, what is going on? I don't understand. Like, nobody can convince me at any point right now that being in a relationship is better than being single. Nobody, because I am so at peace.
Here's the point that you ladies have to understand about what she just said. She is dating the top men out of her league. Those men have choices. Those men are not going to get tied down. That is as simple as it gets. A good average guy would gladly be a partner to her. It's not rocket science. And you're going to hear me say this quite a few times in this video because there is nothing else to say. All of you women keep gravitating towards the same guy. The guy that has no interest in settling down. The guy that's going to play you, dig out your guts, and then give you every excuse for you to stay with him and keep giving it out while he rotates you around many other girls and waste your time. Simple. The idea is you're batting way above your league, ladies.
So today's sisters are the highest educated, are becoming the higher earners. It's hard to listen to a man that can't listen to himself. This is her. So I said, if you say so. I'm not talking to women. I'm talking to men on how to have long-term relationships with women and creating strong bonds of love based on respect and friendship and not speaking to women. So she liked and then quoted what I just said. So she liked what I just said. And she said, I feel you. Then she sent me a Instagram link. You know, I remember saying it, but I don't remember what it was said. You know, but it was like, you know, to make her, you know, feel that she right. Then she said, if I could advise the youth, because she's, you know, educated, you know what I mean? It's like, yo, the world is so messed up right now because, you know what I mean, they're getting bad advice from but if you could advise, if I could advise the youth, I would tell them to go back into a spiritual practice. Okay, I can respect that. You know what I mean? But what type of spiritual practice? Because we know there's like, you know, good magic and bad magic. You know what I mean? Good spirituality, dark, you know. And I say dark because that's a European expression. But I would say good, you know what I mean, spirituality and bad spirituality. So she says, if I could advise the youth, I would tell them to get back into a spiritual practice. This foundation will help to work out problems when things go wrong. And then she has the, you know, black praying hands. Too many young men mess up their 20s and 30s chasing women. Now, she was just telling me about men need to chase women, you know what I mean, to get them earlier. And now she's saying too many young men mess up their 20s and 30s chasing women. And they chasing pussy, they're not chasing women. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these cats they ain't looking for a woman. They're looking for pussy. You know what I mean? And so a lot of these females often, you know, think that when a man is attracted to them and want to sleep with them, that, you know, he means them good. And anyway, so after she said too many young men mess up their 20s and 30s chasing women, she said, thus creating children with the same habits and generational curse. Oh my God, she's above the generational curse. You know? she's above it. But, you know, so she got to save the youth who are chasing women who she said men need to be chasing. So she probably teaches. I ain't going to get into all of that. Because, like I said, I love her and respect her. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, you know, this is like, you know, the conversations that black men are having with black women. There's nothing attractive about this conversation. You know what I'm saying? Nothing attractive about this conversation.
You know, today I was with my 16-year-old daughter, and she loves to twirl her hair. She loves looking in the mirror like any other 16-year-old. You know, she loves the changes that her body is going through, and she loves who she's becoming. She's getting looks from men. She's tall, you know, she's slim. She's a mixed race girl. She's above average for sure, right? But she's not a 10. And I make sure that I tell her she's not a 10. In other words, I humble my daughter. Now, a lot of you ladies are going to come at me with, oh, you shouldn't break her confidence. No. This is where the problem come in. You have to understand what is a quality that all people love about another human being. An overconfident, narcissistic woman, or a woman who's humble, a woman who actually knows her value to another person, who humbles herself, who knows that there's always room for improvement in all aspects. A woman who knows that there's someone out there more beautiful than her, more elegant than her, more graceful than her, more charming than her, more stronger than her. Humbleness, humility. These are the qualities that makes a woman ultra attractive. Ultra. There is nothing more beautiful than a woman who is stunning, who still have humble characteristics. Ask any man. If I see a beautiful woman, I said to her, oh my God, you're beautiful. You're absolutely stunning. And she says to me, thank you so much. There's always room for improvement. I'm always working on it. I'm always a work in progress. And she said it with a beautiful, cheeky smile. Oh, that's melt my heart. That shows me that this woman knows the reality of life.
So I said, black men are not dating anymore. Men don't like the product. So men are building lives focused on building up financial freedom. It costs too much time to play the dating game. Because this is a game. Games is for people who win and lose. You know, so people who win games, either they're going to, win for a short time or lose. But victory is short-lived. So it's not about winning and losing. It's about building a successful way of life. If we build a successful way of life, everything else will fall in place. So she liked what I just said. She said, black men are not dating anymore. Men don't like the product. So men are building lives focused on building up financial freedom. It costs too much time to play the dating game. So then she said, same with sisters. So then I responded, not too many men, too many pookies. In response to when she said, if I could advise the youth, I would tell them to get back into a spiritual practice. This foundation would help to work out problems when things go wrong. Too many young men mess up their 20s and 30s chasing women. So that's why I said, not too many men, too many pookies. And this not got nothing to do with my man Pookie. You know what I mean? I got no do with Pookie, but we know about they say the Pookies and Ray Rays. So then she said, the statistics state most people our age will be single later in life. She said, our people. Our people our age. Yeah. Listen. Your age, you know what I'm saying? Nobody want older women. I ain't gonna, front. Ain't nobody looking to marry an older woman. Especially not talking like this. You know what I'm saying? But, a man, I can go anywhere. As long as I can, provide for the woman, I can attract, what I'm looking for. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm building on now. You know what I mean? I'll be traveling the world in a minute. My son is 14 now. You know what I mean? So we getting a lot more freedom right now. So she said the statistics state most people our age will be single later in life. And I said, in America. She said, I find that the most successful men have money but don't pray or have a spiritual practice, which is cool, but it makes it hard when all they do is work. Yo, like, this is the typical modern woman, y'all. Man needs to give her attention and chase her. But things are hard when all the man does is work. Does this even make sense? That's how I'm thinking when I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? She said, I find that the most successful men, successful defined on money, right? I find that the most successful men have money but don't pray or have a spiritual practice, which is cool, but it makes it hard when all they do is work. That's crazy. Minister Farrakhan talks about that.
The right man is not the man that's cute. The right man is not the man that got money. The right man is the man that got the Spirit of God in him. Listen, without God's Spirit, a man is of no value. But with God's Spirit in a man, he becomes to the woman that which the originator intended him to be. Now, when you sisters fall in love with a man like that, you desire to have a child for that man. You don't want just to be there for him when he comes home. You want to have him again.
P Funk City G.